Hello and welcome to Elo Hell's Pluto Cup, where today we get to watch some matches between six teams in total. But this is going to be some good, just run-of-the-mill Overwatch that we get to see from the Elo Hell community, from the supporters, and getting those fun, organized games in. I will be your play-by-play caster. Belly with me is Misfit on the color seat, and we're going to be starting with Worn Down W versus SpaceX.
Yes, we will, and I'm really excited to get this one kicked off. This will be the EU group stages for the Pluto Cup, and I'm really excited to see what we can pull out here. This will be, I believe, like around plat average with the balancing be done after the balancing for the teams has been done. But there are quite a few high ranked players, quite a few. There is quite a few difference in SR between individual players. So I'm excited to see who can make some hero plays and what each team decides to run here. Something that's important to note is that these teams were put together very, very recently. They were balanced by, I believe, Elo Hell staff. So they have not been playing together very long. I wonder if that will affect what comps they decide before we, or I should say, I wonder if we're going to see things more like Zarya Hog, which is typically like an easier comp, or if these teams will be coordinated enough to run things like Dive or Brawl, which is pretty hard to run in this meta. So I'm excited to get this underway and see what each of these teams wants to pull out here.
Absolutely. It's always the question. Absolutely, Zarya Hog at the moment is very much the meta, very much the way to run a lot of the games, getting all of that extra damage in. As the experimental mode has not been thrown live yet, though people have been very positive about that. Getting the Ana in as well to anti the Roadhogs and then the Zarya to keep the Roadhog safe and blah 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 blah. Like there's a lot of counterplay that you can get. Though if I'm understanding correctly, it should be Dorado as our first map. At the very least, that's what I'm seeing at the moment.
Yeah.
Which I mean, high ground, etc., can potentially give you some dive options.
Absolutely. High ground, very, very important on this map, of course. Typically, when we do see dive here, it is more of a hybrid comp, of course, especially in APAC right now. Ashe Mercy is a very popular combo to run with a dive comp. You typically opt for a three-man dive or even a two-man dive between like a Winston and a Tracer, and then you just set up the Ashe in the back on some high ground with the Mercy pocket, just allow her to click heads. Really, really powerful strategy. Definitely something we could expect to see here on Dorado. Widow also very powerful here. You think second point, those parallel high grounds, really easy for her to stay safe, really easy for her to get away if she gets pressured, and a lot of room for her to click heads. So I do expect to see some snipers here, but it's not completely out of the question to see things like Sombra, Genji, Echo, even Pharah. So I'm really excited to see what these teams can throw out here.
I mean, it's also going to be to a degree comfort picks, like knowing that this is the Pluto Cup, so this is indeed people from the community. And as you mentioned earlier, it is teams that got thrown together by the Pluto Cup organizers. So it can be a bit more discordant, less organized in the sense that you don't really have the same practice as a fully organized team. So getting comfort picks, getting the heroes out that you are feeling okay with could be the play here. Though I'm on the defense already seeing indeed that double off tank meta coming out. Also with double hit scan, interestingly enough.
Yeah, the double hit scan is something that I personally see a lot with it. Typically, I see two snipers. The Widow Ashe is very good. With no shields, hit scan is very, very powerful because obviously hit scan don't have very good shield break. They kind of have to rely on projectile DPS who have really high damage. Think like Junkrat. Characters like that, Junkrat Hanzo, very, very big shield break characters. But in this meta where there are no shields, it provides a lot of room for hit scan to make plays, get big dynamites, get big headshots. Something I am excited though is that we will see the Sombra Genji dive come out from the offense here, which is personally one of my favorite dive combinations. I really like the Sombra. I think it's a really interesting character, although I know many people would not agree with me on that.
I mean, Sombra is an interesting character. The hacks are still quite strong, and indeed, is going to be SpaceX coming out on this Sombra dive. Gaston already in the backline, trying to look for the appropriate target to hack. Gets slapped out will be able to manage to make it out here. The SpaceX is kind of rolling on forward here, denying the space, using that payload to stay safe and get it to the archway where the actual fight starts. And there's no early pick here, so that means that you do indeed have to get the proper fight in here around the archway, but it's going to be Castleton dropping early, so the defense, or the offense, my apologies, already losing one player, losing a lot of damage there, and with the second DPS dropping, it's looking like the offense starting to have some issues, though. Talent gets two, will get rezzed up as well after getting taken out, so maybe this is still an opening here for the offense to keep this fight going. No, this looks like cleanup. Ronan W holds the point.
Something that's important to note about the difference in comp here is that the Zarya Hog is going to have to play very reactionary to this dive composition. They're going to have to wait until the Winston comes in, and they're just going to have to throw resources at him and burn him down. And that can lead to, I hope it doesn't lead to a bit of a passive playstyle on the defense. I want to still see them being proactive with their ultimates, which they do have several coming online right now. And I still want to see them be smart about their strategy.
Oh, not talking about smart about the strategy. Peacock gets taken out early on here. The hack not allowing the Ana to really deal with anything. We still have a trade here, and Mercy is gone, no res. Not being able to really keep this fight going. And as I hear the grab going in this side, a few people pulled together. Still no real kills coming from it. It is still a bit of a slower time to kill that is coming on down there, and as Minax comes back, run down W once again with two big picks. Looks like SpaceX having some trouble once again.
Yeah, and so a really nice job there from Furious Demo, picking up, I believe, 3 in that fight. Was on the McCree, switched over to the Tracer. I do like this pick a lot. The Ashe Tracer, in my opinion, is a really, really good, solid DPS combo because the Ashe does so much damage, and the Tracer can just be that mosquito in the backline following up on all of it. We do see the EMP Nanoblade online here for the offense, so I would expect that to be a very, very hard thing to break usually, but there is a grab and a whole hog on the side of the defense, so they should be able to deal with it just fine.
Castleton already setting up with the EMP. Now it's going to be the EMP, finds for Nanoblade to follow it up and looking for the first, looking for the second. Does have some trouble getting the second, gets a grab out of with this ball from. That's 2 kills. You have the winning combo, but Ronan W doesn't care. Still have the grab available, solo grabs. Essentially, the Genji gets a few more, cleans it on out. SpaceX lost their win condition.
Yeah, and I mean, the EMP was good. It hit the Zarya, but a little bit of an issue there with the prioritization from Lesra. You need to get that grab down because it's such a powerful ultimate for this defense. And if you're able to kill that Zarya there, then you pretty much just win the fight. Unfortunately, unable to do so, and the grab does come out, gets him killed. Nice 2K with the pulse bomb from Furious Demo. And now the defense looking in a really solid position to full hold this point with only 30 seconds remaining.
30 seconds, you lost all of your win conditions. You're only coming up to a primal rage. Wardan W is still building up a bit, though it's going to be a denial of the whole hawk from Pengi here as the dive with the Reinhardt comes on through again here. This is where potentially these comfort picks come in. Talent having swapped over to the Reinhardt now, the primal rage to boop the Zarya around. Bubble to deny a bit of healing, but as Castleton will drop again and the Bob comes out on the field. Res will be coming on through, but it's looking rough for the SpaceX, having lost another player. There goes the third, and it's now cleanup time for Wardan W to clear at this point. A pulse bomb makes Talent drop extremely low. SpaceX not finding their value. Wardan W get a full hold on A.
Yeah, and I mentioned, with the difference of these comps, that the defense would have to play much more reactionary, kind of respond to whatever the offense threw at them and just punish it really hard. And they did a really good job of doing that. I mean, we saw that in almost every fight there. They did a really good job of punishing the enemy's win conditions, bouncing on any mistakes they made. It was really, really good showing from the defense there, especially, talk about that EMP Nanoblade, how that got shut down. So yeah, definitely a really good job running the comp there from the defense, but now we'll have to see what they can do on offense. Obviously, they do not have that far to push the cart, but Dorado can be a tricky first point to push, especially given the high ground advantage that the defenders have. So it is definitely not out of the question here to have a fuller hold.
It definitely is not. It is absolutely possible, but you need to be running the appropriate strategy. In SpaceX so far has run this win condition strategy, high risk, high reward, because if it doesn't pay off, well, unfortunately, that's all of her eggs in one basket. Or not W, sorry, SpaceX now going for a half dive, a bit of an Overwatch League strategy here to win through with the Zarya.
Yeah, this double bubble composition is the most powerful dive composition right now, with all the CC and just debuffs in the game in the meta right now. The bubble can be really good at purging it or blocking it in ways that the defense matrix can't. So really good strategy here. I do like that we're seeing the Pharah. I do think the Pharah can find a lot of value on this point, given how much vertical cover there is to fly around. But yeah, it's going to have to be a very perfect hold here from the defense if they want to have a chance to win this map.
Absolutely. First demo though is on the Ashe, so there is some contesting for the Pharah, so you have to play around this cover, which does also make this a bit more difficult. Quack has already gone in with the bubble. That's going to be an opening pick here onto Fairy Tail. With that, the payload should get halted soon, just before the archway, and it does look like that is the attempt here. Or not W has to make sure that the whole team stays together, but they just made it through the archway. The rotation from SpaceX potentially a bit late, giving up a bit of space here to try and keep this hold going, but they are still holding, and it's now a matter of just trying to build up Ultimate's Misfit.
Yeah, I agree. I'd love to see Pengy take some more space on this Winston here. I think that would give his defense a lot more room to work with.
Absolutely. The Pharah drops, but get rezzed up. So that does not give that much trouble there. But as now the picks are coming in for War Down W, it's just a matter of time and pressure that SpaceX just couldn't keep up with. And they just push it down to the victory box.
Well, I think Pengy might have heard me there, because he engaged very cleanly there, was able to zone out the Zarya and both healers, and that provided a lot of room for his DPS to make plays there. Furious demo here with this big dynamite, and some good cleanup from Minox there. No ults needed to use there. They just pushed it all the way through.
I mean, this is now a thing to keep in mind. Pluto Cup group stages is a best of one, so that means Worn Down W has put a point on the board for their side. But that also means that we're now already done with this matchup. It was a relatively quick one to start it out with, but with that being said, that does mean that we're going to take a moment to set up for the next matchup, so don't go anywhere. We'll take a short break, and we'll see you afterwards. Hello and welcome back to Elo Hell's Pluto Cup EU side of things, where later on you will also be able to watch the NA should you be interested in that. Already an early plug for that, but we've already had one match, Worn Down W versus SpaceX. Now moving on over to Rapid Unscheduled Disassembly versus Elo Hell Spaceports. And should be some more good games here organized Overwatch at around the high plat, low diamond mark. I will still be your play-by-play caster. Belly with me is Misfit on the color seat. And in this these best of one series in the group stages, it's all or nothing basically every round.
Absolutely, yeah. The best of one is kind of a winner take all situation, which can be a blessing and a curse, because you only need to win one, but you only really have one chance, right? So if it's a map type your team maybe isn't that strong on, it could hurt you in the long run. Speaking of map type, we are getting into a hybrid map. It will be Blizzard World, which is a very interesting map in my opinion. I think there's a lot of play for a lot of different strategies. A lot of different comps can be run here. So I'm really excited to see what each of these teams pull out. In the last match, we got to see some dive, got to see some Zarya Hog, and I'm interested to see what each of these teams will show here.
It's absolutely an interesting play here, and as you can see, indeed, the players as well for these teams now on the screen who have to dish it out on Blizzard World. It's going to be the question what they prefer to be playing, and whether this Hog Zarya style keeps on coming out. Seeing, interestingly enough, double sniper here for the defense.
Yeah, I actually don't hate the double head scan here. The Widow Ashe is actually a pretty good comp with the Zarya Hog, and if you're expecting the Zarya Hog, because the reason for that is, like I mentioned in the previous game, hit scan's really strong when there's no shields, because of course their shield break isn't very good, especially characters like Widowmaker. And once shields just aren't in play anymore, they can click heads for free. So really strong composition here. The one thing that does surprise me a little bit is the decision to run a Zenyatta over the traditional Mercy in this situation. Mercy gives damage boost to both snipers, allows them a lot more wiggle room, and can give them a lot more survivability. So an interesting pick. We'll have to see if Freyr can find the value on it.
Question for me is Alliance here, just kind of in a corner. Maybe AFK, maybe disconnecting. So that's going to be a question to wait on out here. As Elo Hell Spaceports is coming on in. So the Ash is kind of hiding out in the corner. This Pharah might have some issue though, running into especially this Widowmaker. But also the Ash, should that player come on back. That's going to be the Pharah way in the backline. Toxic Flow has to move on. That's going to be 3 picks for the offense. And a bit of trouble here for Rapid Unscheduled Disassembly. Going to be vacating the point rather rapidly.
Yes, absolutely. A really nice job there from the Pharah to dive the Widow, the biggest counter in this composition to her, and take that out of the fight as soon as possible. Very unfortunate for the defense here that the Ashe didn't seem like she was disconnecting, so wasn't in the fight right away. And that, of course, did allow the Pharah to get some extra space, some extra room, not having to worry about the crossfire of those 2 hit scans. A little unfortunate here for the defense, but they still have a chance to hold here with 2 checkpoints remaining.
Toxic Flow has swapped over to a Pharah of their own. Alliance does seem to be back here. This is gonna be now a fairly similar fight. Big Bomb is over to the Widowmaker of their own. As the hook comes on through on the Zarya and the approach comes in. That's gonna be Nefas dropping early. With one of those tanks already out, you're gonna have a bit of a rough time. It's also about these hog hooks that you see coming on through. I sleep onto Big Mount, the res comes in as well. With this, it looks like the defense is holding.
Yeah, and this is a really good spot to do it too. You hold this first choke right here, and it gets really hard for that Pharah to find value. It can be really, really difficult because the snipers can stay much farther back than normal. Toxic Flow is like in the enemy spawn right now, and for the life of me, I can't understand why. That will be a pick that might actually have to force the defense to move back here. And as I'm praising them for getting in a good hold spot, they might have given it up.
This very aggressive defensive hold from Rapid Unscheduled Disassembly that has not really been playing out too well for them. Okay, it seems like I've been calling out the names incorrectly this whole time, so I will get that fixed rather soon. But now indeed this offense, this defense coming on through Toxic Flow with an opening pick is going to be a Valkyrie Mercy to try and counter this. But doesn't manage to pick up those kills. Now 2 picks for the blue side. Trying to keep this hold going, Alliance and getting that extra pick, and this looks like defense will be holding on.
Yeah, I'm loving to see the dogfight going on between these 2 Pharahs right now. They're giving it everything they've got. Neither will find a kill. But while it's happening, the blue side is able to find the picks they need. Is able to hold here. A lot of Qs on both sides here. Both teams have this Graviton Surge. Both teams have this Barrage. So I would expect to see both teams to look for that, as it is a very, very powerful combo, getting all your enemies in one spot and then raining down all that splash damage on them. But I'm excited to see which team pulls it off better. Right now, the defense has the advantage, but it can be turned very quickly with a good ult combo.
That is the goal here, to get those openings rather quickly and get those when the enemy least expects it, especially with these combos. You do have a Grav barrage available, though that is for either side. There's a lot of ultimates coming up here. That's going to be the Grav. That's going to be 2 players together. Bob as well, but it's just going to be a nano whole hog to just tear through the tanks. Alliance also forced into a corner. The hook does not land, but the damage has been done. Payload is moving forward once more. And as the tanks just push on in, 1 Ash is not going to be enough to get this done. The barrage from above finds 1, but gets hooked out. Now Unleashed, the only player left for the offense on the point, will have to fight a 1v5. Stomach is still alive, but eventually gets cleared out.
Yeah, really nice play there from Toxic Flow, able to find the picks necessary to stall that card just long enough for his team to get back. Really, really good play there. And now it's going to, be a really tall order for the offense to push through this. They use their Graviton Surge. They comboed with the whole hog, which is a combo we see a lot in this meta. Without the pushback from the whole hog, defend. It does a lot more damage, so it's a good combo, especially with the nano throw in there too. And the defense still has this graviton surge, so they're sitting in a really really good spot right now, going forward here.
Very good spot. Big Bomb trying to get the angles here, but the rest of the team is also moving on in. That's going to be the Barras gets denied. The Big Bomb with a quick trade there as well. Make sure that both Pharahs are out of the sky. The defense with the grab managed to hold. Rapid and scheduled disassembly. Back to spawn.
Yeah, and Big Bomb doing absolutely everything he can. Finding some picks, but just not enough. The defense gets a few too many, gets a good graviton surge off, and that is going to be a wipe for the attackers here. Still have 60 seconds. They still have a chance here to push this cart, but it's going to be very hard. There's a lot of high ground these defenders can use, and a lot of silence that they can have on their opponent here, especially with no shields. So we'll have to see what the offense can pull out here.
Offense coming through the high ground. 40 seconds to go to try and get this fight going. Sights are up. So this is going to be a dangerous fight here from Alliance to take versus this Widowmaker. Big Bomb does get forced back here as it's now a bit of a split push here from the offensive side. Alliance with a quick headshot onto Glamdal. You lose a whole bunch of healing that even this Valk from Kiki Weather is gonna have trouble keeping up, though. The kills in favor of the red team. Will this be enough for the offense to hold? We still have a few players right up on high. Toxic Flow trying to build up that barrage. There's still a win condition. Old Hawk coming in from Kreef, who does get taken out as well. Now this barrage is up, looking for it, gets into the back line, trying to just get some kills, finds nothing. A lot of damage, but no cleanup. Now with the nano onto the Zarya. Both Zaryas now are forced to be reckoned with. The nades getting thrown in as well. But with this res, it looks like Rapid Scheduled Disassembly is getting their team together, is getting the picks, and the payload moves forward to the hold, and they do get a chance to get the full push.
I don't know if I agree with the commitment of Grav there. You already committed so much to getting that point, and now you've lost potentially a win condition for the next fight. They are getting some picks here, so they will be able to take a lot of space, which is pretty good there. But really good job there from the attacking team, getting the picks they need. Of course, the Zarya Hawk does kind of revolve around you hitting those hooks, getting those big picks, getting those nades off, and the offense just doing it better there. And now they will be going into the third point. Still only a minute remaining, though, so they do have kind of a tall order to get this one all the way to the finish, but still a solid push so far.
Most hybrid and escort maps have those difficult spots right at the end. Unleash gets hooked into the enemy side. That's going to be the graph invested from the defense. A barrage, though, coming in from Tentalex to just deny that space, get a kill as well. Now I've got the Hawk battle on the point. As Toxic Flow tries to get in, no, he gets hooked out of the sky. Great Roadhog play here from Unleashed. The payload moves forward.
I really like this Tracer pick in this meta, actually, because, typically you'd think, like, oh, the Hog will deal with it, but the Hog can't because he has to play main tank in this comp. So it allows the Tracer so much room in the backline, and Big Bomb making it work, finding a lot of picks there.
The Bob comes in to try and contest, gets slapped though, to lose a lot of value. That one clip does not come through, which means the res is there. Alliance is back along with that damage boost. Bob as well picking up a kill. It's looking rough here for the offense as the defense comes in with the Saga picks a huge leap onto Unleash, who just wanted to pull out that whole hog, gets denied it. It's trying to punish the Ana for it, but with all the boobs, it's so difficult for the offense to really get something done. The nano should be enough to clear this out, even with the graph coming in, but no. Rapid and scheduled disassembly, find 2 picks, find a main healer, the rest that comes on through. Nature is back. It's pandemonium on this final point. Both teams do not want to give this up. A nice pile drive from the Hammond to clear this out, to get that extra damage, and nobody is on point. So the offense will not get the full push.
When we talk about best of one, this is an all or nothing, so obviously you do want those extra few meters to push it all the way, get that third checkpoint, and present the possibility for a third and fourth round here. But still, I don't think you can be too mad with that push. It looked like you were going to get held on second point, and you get it almost all the way through third point. That's a good push here for Rapid unscheduled disassembly. That'll be pretty solid for them. All they have to do is find one hold somewhere on the map before that, right? Like, it doesn't matter how far you pushed if you full hold them on the first point, right? That's got to be a win condition. They have to understand they need to find a way to whittle down the time bank of their opponents like they had their own time bank whittled down. That's the only way they're going to have a chance here. Um, they are going to run this far on defense, but I think it's a little bit of a strange idea, especially in this first point where there's not as much vertical cover. But Tentalex has been very, very strong on that character, so I would expect to see him make it work.
It could still definitely work. If you play this defensively, you do have a bit of cover that you can be playing around the archway. Other than that, indeed, rapid unscheduled disassembly, more of the same, though also pulling the Mora out, so you lose on this Ana pick.
Yeah, that does kind of confuse me. It's possible it's a survivability thing. You know, the Ana feels a little bit too vulnerable. But the Ana provides so much utility in this meta where there's no shield. It's free antis, it's free sleeps, if you have the mechanics to pull it off. So that could be a really, really important switch here for the defense.
Toxic Throw with an early headshot here does not pick up a kill for it, because for that you need some squishy targets. As Elo Hell Spaceports is just moving in with the Brawl comp and having a Torbjorn in there as well. Tantalex is going to make that difficult here. And with these two picks, indeed, the offense is forced back. Elo Hell Spaceports not really finding their value. The Tantalex has to play it safe here with Toxic Flow on the Widow.
Yeah, a really nice hold there from the defense. They will get the res onto Tentalex, so it will not be too big. Alliance will switch back onto the Ashe now, which I think is a pretty decent pick. They were very solid on it before. I expect to see the same from them. But now we see a double sniper here, and that could pose a lot of problems for this Pharah of Tentalex, trying to find the value here.
Could provide a bit of issue here as Toxic Flow tries to go for a grapple shot. So you just have to play this a lot safer. Tentalex can play it lower to the ground. Looks like that is also the goal here. But Unleash will be the opening pick. Big Bob also takes a bullet to the brain. This is going to be a difficult one. The barrage come through. Kreef gets taken out, but so does the barraging Pharah, which is honestly fairly common. As the sides also get a pump out. This is the nano onto the Zarya. That's going to make this offense so much stronger. Unleash Raptor trying to just clear this out is not on full charge to just get whole hogs off. The red team still holding strong after a fair bit of an investment from both sides.
Yeah, I really agree with the Coalescence there. It kind of looked like a fight that had gotten turned in favor of the offense there, but the Coalescence able to keep everyone alive and pulling the trigger on that was a really, really smart decision there from Glenville. That was a really, really good hold from the defense. It kind of looked like they were in trouble there, but able to pull it back. That was very nice. But now they don't really have the ult they need quite yet. There will be a Graviton Surge on the offense side before it will be on the defense side. The Bob is going to have to be their main win condition here from Big Bob.
Still very possible. That's going to be the Grav actually coming in for the offense, but this is 3 picks for the defense. We're just holding so strong. There was a very good engage from Elo Hell Spaceports, but they lose people just during the ultimate phase.
Yeah, I mean, the Grav from Unleash Raptor, honestly, if anything, it just improved the enemy's focus fire, because now they were all grouped up, all shooting at the same thing. A little unfortunate there. It seemed like the team wasn't quite in the position to deal with it. And now the Graviton Surge will be charged up for the defense. You know, like we mentioned, all the defense needs here is a full hold, and they don't even have to worry about the fact they didn't finish the map. And now with only a minute left, it kind of looks like that's a possibility.
Well, you lose out on Big Bob, so that is definitely going to be a huge opening here, because you're not going to be able to res that one out. You now have a 7v5 fight with the Bob from the blue team on the point. This is now a grab for the defense. 3 players together, a lot of damage. The barriers also gets attempted, but gets hooked out. But there is still damage that got done. And somehow the defense, even with a 2-player disadvantage, seems to manage to pull this one back. Nature dying late, and it's going to be a matter of last seconds here, Misfit.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, not a lot of great ultimates to do it with. You'll have the whole hog, you'll have the nano, but neither of those are definitive win conditions like the Graviton Surges. So really, really unfortunate. And that pick is going to be really big for the defense here. I don't think, there's no possibility of a res, so it's going to be a 5v6 in the final fight.
Alex looking for those flanks. This is going to be the whole hog indeed on point. It's a bit of damage done, but apart from that, doesn't really find anything. Got the Lucio on point. Finds Unleash, so you lose one of those tanks. Is this the opening that Edo Hell Spaceports needs? We've got Tantalex coming in from up on high. Is gonna try and deny this Ana. Ana dropping quite low, still has the nade, and with 2 picks, the offense does look like they might be clearing this one out. Tantalex somehow still alive, is getting searched for overtime. It's gonna be ticking down. Tantalex finds Toxic Flow. It is still possible. The picks are still there. Tantalex is still alive, and now with the Hammond on point, can the reinforcements come back fast enough? It doesn't look like it. With overtime not ticking down, Elo Spaceports managed to pick up point A.
Yeah, the defense, they're just getting a little bit overconfident. It kind of looks like they all kind of felt like they were winning. They kind of got a little sloppy there, didn't really focus the same targets like they were on the rest of the fights there. But not to worry, they have a lot of ultimates coming online now, and they do have a lot. They do have a very favorable time bank. You know, only 2 minutes here for the offense to push all the way through second point, and a lot of potential for that time bank to fall down with the ultimates that are available for the defense.
Absolutely, Toxic Flow getting taken out early, but you do have a bit of time, and it is on the tracers, so that is one that can get back early. This is going to be a barrage actually from Tantalex very early on. Doesn't find a kill, but it does do once again enough damage. And honestly, as always with a Pharah, if you manage to get some damage done and survive a barrage, that's usually already pretty good. A great sleep from Nature that came on through, but no follow-ups. So Tantalex does get out alive.
Yeah, and you know, good use of ultimates there from the defense. They didn't overcommit. I think they used their ultimates well enough. They will have this Graviton Surge now, but you know, the defense or the offense will have 5 ultimates coming online here.
Oh, that's going to be a grab. That's going to be 4 quick picks. Tantalex, having used the barrage in the previous fight, already up to 90%.
That was, I mean, that was a really, really good fight there. What we're seeing from the defense here, from Rapid I'm gonna try that again. Rapid unscheduled disassembly. They're being much more proactive with their fight planning with their ultimates, and they're able to find these ult combos consistently more often than their opponents here. It's just winning them these fights.
Oh, that is gonna be a very nice player. A grab with the pulse bomb, a bomb as well to clear this one on out. We are once again below 1 minute, but Elo Hell Spaceports moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, grab pulse, really good combo, and they're able to find value in it. As I sing the defense's praises, they get ulted on first. Proactivity is so important in a meta like this, where there's no shields, so any slight mistake can result in a fight loss here. They will have the nano and the sound barrier available for the offense. I'd love to see how they're going to use it here.
Keep in mind, this is the best of 1, so this is all or nothing. Nefas coming in on the backline, but Grief being able to chunk out all of this damage, and once again, Elo Hell Spaceports in overtime gets the point captured.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of those situations in which, you know, when it comes down to the final moments of the game, it kind of like forces everyone into that zone where they're all working together and they're all playing better. We see this a lot in ranked, and we're seeing it right now in this game, is that the offense here, who was looking very, very sloppy, is now looking a lot stronger as they push in. The overtime is all they need to get themselves motivated, and they have a real shot here to win this map.
60 seconds.
There is still an opportunity, and this Raptor also gets taken out, but a nice pulse bomb here from Toxic Flow. Drop low as well, is forced to recall, but 2 players gone, and Elo Hell Spaceports once again moving forward.
Yeah, really nice job there from Toxic Flow, noticing that the personal bubble of Nefas, of Nefas had been used, and so that pulse bomb would get the kill there, not just get bubbled. That's a really important pick there. The Zarya, of course, is really dangerous in this meta, especially when she's high charge. Really excellent play from your Tracer there. That's exactly what you want to see. The defense will have ults, though, to try to stop this last push. But honestly, I don't know if anything can stop the offense right now. They're looking really good.
It's going to be the Bob to open this one up. We've got Tantalex looking for the Ana pick. Now this time not having to go all the way into spawn to find it. It's also going to be clearing it up with the barrage dropping low because of that Bob that got invested by Alliance. 2 seconds to go. We're going to be into overtime. Toxic Flow once again finding those picks into the backline. And somehow Elo Hell Spaceports are clearing this out again and again. Each Raptor gets taken out for the offense, but even with that, it's looking rough here for the red team to keep this fight going. The rest is not coming through. It's going to be Sound Barrier invested as well. We've got the hammers just rolling around, just trying to stall, just trying to buy time for everyone to come back. We've once again got a 6v6 fight going. Toxic Pro dropping low, but Nefas is the first to go down. Defense now with a one-person difference. Going back to the 5v5, going either side. These teams are so incredibly close, but Unleashed manages to pick up the Lucio. That is a chunk of healing already gone. And now I've got Unleashed, who is capable of just kind of roaming free. Coalescence invested 2. Overtime still ticking down. Both teams with the Coalescence trying to keep this fight going. Toxic Flow with another Pulse Bomb. Does not hit it this time. Does not get a kill. Tentalex also trying one of their own. Doesn't find it either. 6v6 on the point. Big Bomb drops. Toxic Flow does as well. But now the defense with a 1-player deficit. The Golden Box of victory is so close in this fight. Freyr gets hooked. Does not get killed. The bubbles from the Winston are too much. Unleashed with the whole hog. Trying to just get people off. The point is not managing mines as a second attack bomb clears a few of those out, moves through them. The rest is still coming on through. How is this fight still going? This has been longer than some of the points that I've seen. Now as Visor in the backline finds one, is looking for a second, finds it. Will that be a third? Will the defense finally clear it out? Big Bomb with 4 kills, trying to get this fight going. And it looks like the defense holds after an immense and massive stall.
I'm at a loss for words right now. That was
so many. I've said many. I've said all of them.
Yeah, you have said all of the words. Yes, and let me give you a short break here. That was a lot of that was really good from both sides there, able to hold it for so long. You know, a lot of sustain in this meta, a lot of ability for survivability on both sides here. You know, with characters like Roadhog who have that self heal with the Hammond during the stall, and just I can't even play like target focus or anything. That was just team deathmatch on the point for a couple of minutes there, and it just ends up going the way of the defenders. They get the ult they needed. You know, spawn advantage, of course, favored defenders anyway. So you know, the longer that fight dragged out, the more it did favor the defense. So I did expect to see them win that. Really good job pulling it together there at the final hour. For rapid disassembly, you know, they kind of gave a first and second point in overtime, and it would have been really, really heartbreaking if they gave up that final point, but they're able to pull it together and, you know, pull out a nice win here in the group stages.
Absolutely. So 1 point on the board. Once again, keep in mind it's a best of 1, so that means that this game is also already over. So we're going to take a moment to set up for the next matchup, so don't go anywhere. Take a short break. We'll see you on the other side. Hello and welcome back to Edo Hell's EU Pluto Cup coverage with myself, Belly, and Misfit to join me for the cast where we've already watched 2 games and we're going to be moving into Shattering Expectations versus Rapid Unscheduled Disassembly, the latter having already won their previous match versus Edo Hell Spaceports and a very, very close overtime game. So it's going to be the question whether on Hanamura, which should be the next map, we're going to be seeing something similar.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited to see how they perform on a different map type here. We will be getting into Assault for this game, of course. As with the other group stage games, this will be a best of 1, so whoever wins this map will get the win. And Hanamura will be our map. Personally, one of my favorite maps. I do think it's a very good map, even though it is 2CP. I think it's well designed. I think there's a lot of different strategies that can be run here. You can get your sim teleport strats, the Mei. You can get your Junkrats on defense. Just a lot of variety that I see here in my own scrims, in my own games. So I'm excited to see what these teams run on either side. We have seen a lot of Hog Zarya today, but I'm still holding out that we can see a bit of dive on this map.
Who knows? That's always the question indeed. Dive has some potential. As you can see the brawl coming on through. We've also definitely have seen the Hog Zarya combos coming on in very heftily as we indeed run into the map itself. Hanamura, the lovely Japanese looks, the cherry blossom trees around. Very beautiful looking map, though. We were talking about before this, like, I'm just not a fan of 2CP maps to just play myself. But I'm very happy that other people get the opportunity to play.
Yeah, and I'm really excited for this one. This is higher plat, low diamond average, so we still can see the potential for these sim teleport strats. Although a lot of teams have moved away from that now that double shield isn't as strong. One of the benefits of that strategy is being able to set your shields up before the enemy team on that point and kind of play defense there. But now that there are not shields in the meta, it's a little bit more risky of a strategy, especially with Ana being here. Just free anti onto the teleporter, and it can be a really really hard strategy to pull off here. The defense is actually going to show a Rhyme Diva composition. We haven't seen anything like that in months. Uh, Unfortunately, they will switch over to the Hog Zarya. They just wanted to get my hopes up just so they could crush them. But it's okay. I'm used to it at this point.
It's gotten a bit more hectic with the tank lineups in Overwatch at the moment, so it's going to be waiting out what any future patches might bring. But at the moment, we are still on the Hog Zarya, having the Annas in as well in the defense, and running a Genji, interestingly enough.
Yeah, I think the Genji can find value, especially on this map. There's a lot of focus on that first choke there, and it does provide some opportunities for Genji to flank, pull some kills off, and dash back to his team through that main choke. But also just the Dragon Blade is really powerful with that nano boost that Calyx is going to have. So a really, really powerful win condition there for this side of Shattering Expectations.
I'll say Caesar's going to open up this fight with a quick headshot onto a big bomb. Also managed to dink the Hanzo while trying to just climb up on high. I'm going to be able to build up this bomb really rapidly. The offense from Rapid Unscheduled Delivery at the moment looking a bit rough, and as we were talking about, indeed, like this initial choke is difficult to push through. But now you've got a bit of a window as Samuson has dropped, so Misfit, this could be the opening that the offense was looking for.
Yeah, they just need to wait for the respawns, get a full 6 back. That's going to be a big pick there, though, onto Unleashed. It's going to, drop down their ability to push quite a bit, but the pick onto Caesar will also be pretty big. These teams are kind of just playing deathmatch right now and seeing who can get the most impactful pick, but right now it probably is going to favor the offense here.
You've got a few picks, so you've got an opening, but you need to then actually push in. A nice anti, though, forcing the defense back as well. Rapid and scheduled delivery moving forward. The nano comes in through, but the hook on the side takes Glemdal out. Actually, the nano land, no, it doesn't look like gets to the defense, is holding. Nano got denied by that hook. Very well played here for the defense.
Yeah, also a really big pick that Nephis isn't able to get out there. Good job from Connor Rowe there. Getting that charge Zarya out can be really, really dangerous because it allows her to get back into the fight at full charge and use her bubbles much more effectively. Kind of a weird first push there. Both teams are kind of playing deathmatch around the choke right now. Neither team really having a lot of aggression right now. Of course, the defense doesn't really need to, but I'd like to see the offense get a little bit more aggressive here and try to push in and take some space from the defense.
Gonna be a big goal here. The offense trying to push in once again. Now I've got Connor who has the blade available and so gets taken out after a nice deflect. There's 2 picks from the offense. Now a big win. There's gonna be a whole hawk from Neptune to just try and deny that space. The Transcendence doesn't get to the Roadhog in time. They're gonna have some big trouble here. Try to hold on this point A. It's going to be a Bob at the moment, the only one contesting, but with just 2 players left here around the point, it looks like you're going to be giving up on point A.
Yeah, and I don't know if they have the ability to recontest here with the amount of ults that are available for the attacking team right now. I would like to see them probably just try to stall this out and give this up, not try to invest too much here because I don't think they'll get much out of it.
Well, they're going to be investing. It's going to be the grab invested, pulls 4 together, but with just the 1 kill, it's not enough, and a Rapid and scheduled disassembly is going to get a chance to full capture P.
Yeah, and see, that's the issue that I'm worried about with the amount of ultimates that are available for the offense right now, especially that grab dragon and grab whole hog combos. Wasting a grab like that at a point that's so in the enemy's favor, I just don't agree with it. They still do have the nano blade though, so they will have a pretty good win condition of their own. It's going to come down to who is more proactive with their ultimates here.
Well, the swap is also coming through, so Look Right is now over to the Reinhardt, so it was a bit of a late one. That's going to be a grab to deny that blade, and with the dragon as well, the immortality field keeps everyone alive. Actually, interestingly enough, Unleash pushing everyone out of the dragon, though. 2 kills here in favor of the offense, and as the defense is losing numbers left, right, and center, we are now down to just under 3.5 minutes. The first take not given up yet, but should be coming in soon. That indeed, it's only a matter of trying to get the recontest, which is so incredibly difficult. They've got 3 players on the field, so the spawn timer just keeps increasing in time. That is a 3-minute time bank for a full push.
Yeah, and I mentioned about proactivity of ultimates, but there was the Dragon Blade pop first, and Nephis with an excellent grab is able to catch 2 members of the enemy team, or 3 members of the enemy team, including that Dragon Blading Genji. Really, really powerful play from the Zarya, able to pick up some kills off that and push this point here. So far, Rapid Disassembly looking very, very strong right now. We were gonna have to see how the side of Shattering Expectations can counter this, can come back in this match. They will have their own opportunity to attack here. 2CP can be a very volatile game mode. You can snowball very easily, as we just saw. So definitely not out of the realm of possibility for the attack of Shattering Expectations to be just as impactful.
Now is gonna indeed being flipping the script. So Rapid and Scheduled Disassembly are gonna have to get a better hold, and it was a very good attack from the team in red. So it's gonna be the question whether their defense is just as controlled usually.
Yeah, that's a pretty fair assessment. I do like what they're running here. I think the Junkrats are really, really powerful here. Back when I was the Flex CPS, I loved playing Junkrat on this map. That tight choke is really, really good for allowing those nades, that splash damage to get a lot of value. But even past that, the trap can be really good at countering like sim strats and stopping pushes in their tracks.
Now, the Ashe with a Junkrat. You also mentioned this before we even got into the game. Very good combo to just deny that space. So much chunk damage, so much spam damage to coming through. Now, indeed, with this first pick from Big Bomb, you already have the offense having some trouble here. Connor gets a pick in the back line, though, lands in a trap with 2 picks here in favor of the offense. And we've mentioned this before, that leaves you such a big window to try and attack again.
Yeah, I mean, those are the 2 best picks you can hope for there. You get the Zarya with charge, and you get the Mercy, so no resistance can come through here. So now the offense in a really, really good spot here to take this point. We'll have to see if they can make it happen.
Well, we already have a few players for Shattering Expectations on the point. It's going to be an attempted recontest from Tentalex, but no, that's going to be a trade. Rez will be coming on through, so there are a few players on the board for RUD to try and get the recontest. So Holhawk to just get the players off with the Nano to get that increased damage. Now trade out from Rapid and Scheduled Disassembly to try and get hold of this point again. 2 ticks have been given up. We're down to 2 minutes 40 seconds. A nice dynamite. We have the Bob from Caesar, who's looking for an angle. He's just looking to get some damage done. Neptune drops off the map. Losing that Roadhog can be so massive here. Shattering Expectations losing out on that one as the respawns come in for the defense.
I think that was a really, really poor choice not to use the Bob there. I think there was a lot of opportunity. Caesar got both of those supports so low in that right corner there, and I think a Bob would have just been perfect to finish them off. But they don't pull the trigger, and now the defense will have ultimates that are very, very strong to try to deal with it.
Bob indeed comes through from Caesar, but he gets taken out as well. Connor trying to duel this. Lucio does get the pick off, so now Shattering Expectations with 3 kills, looking strong. Res comes on through. And with the Roadhog, you might be able to hold on to his Nefas. The drops to a right click of their own, and Connor doesn't win the fight versus this Ashe. This is a back and forth all over, as both of the Holhawks are just pushing both of these Roadhogs away. With the Nanos, this is very much looking in favor of Shattering Expectations now.
Yeah, it looks like they will probably be able to cap this first point here, barring any spectacular miracles. But yeah, that's not going to happen. They will be able to take this first point here. Not a whole lot to use to push the second point. The defense will have this Bob, which is really good on this map. You kind of just throw it onto the point, and it has full view of all the attackers. So really, really good ult for the defense here. I would expect to see them try to farm this Nano Blade and possibly the Trans as well to keep them alive and just try to go off of that.
Gonna be the opening for the Bob. Neptune just kind of pulls it into the team, but Sleep denies the... Gets woken up though, so you still win some space for that for the defense. We're already at 3 minutes 44 seconds. There's not that long to go before we've got an equal time bank here. So Shattering Expectations has to come out with a quick push here to try and get an equal time bank to start this one on out. And with 2 picks here and Connor getting into the backline, that is 3 in favor of the offense. And Shattering Expectations might be actually living up through their namesake. Trades coming on through, so you have to clear out these points. 1 tick has been given up. Tentalex comes in with the Doomfist, picks up a second one. Now trying to just find the rest, trying to clear this out. 1 tick has been given up, as I said. But other than that, the defense holds. Now the time banks going to be favoring Rapid and Scheduled disassembly.
Yeah, and just a really good stall there. The Doomfist is a really, really good stall pick for 2 reasons. Number one, you have that mobility to try to like stay slippery, try to not get hit very often. But there's also a ton of pick potential there. Obviously, Doomfist, one of the easiest characters to get kills within the game. You have that combo of the seismic slam and uppercut with a couple of primary fires to get kills, and you also have that rocket punch, which is of course a 1-shot if it is charged enough. So really good job by Tentalex, really heads up switch there and is able to find the picks and help turn it around for his team. They now will have this Space Jam combo on the defense, and Samuson's Trans will not be able to keep him alive through it. Samuson's Trans obviously cannot help with that burst damage. This is going to be a very interesting fight here.
Very interesting one. That's going to be the grab coming on through the Trans to try and keep everyone alive, but instant damage is something that the Transcendence cannot heal. Got 3-4 picks. Connor also pulling out the blade. That's going to be the full push. We've got 55-second difference for these time banks, and after a bit of a chaotic fight, the Shattering Expectations managed to come out on top of.
Yeah, I mean, they had like 6 ults for that fight, so I guess that isn't too surprising. But man, they grabbed like 5 people. I assumed that they would at least they would throw the ante and possibly be able to win that. But you know, a little unfortunate. But you know, still a good time bank for both sides here. Only a 55-second difference. We will see Shattering Expectations have to attack first because they have the lower time bank, and it looks like they will opt for that same composition. I do like that they're running this Genji here. I still think Genji is viable in this meta. Maybe not as good as he was after he got that damage buff. But now that that's been reverted, he is a little bit less viable. Still good, though. The Nano Blade, obviously a classic combo and a really strong one at that. And now it looks like the defenders here are going to mirror it. Tentalex will be over onto the Genji of his own.
The Shattering Expectations with the lower time bank having to go for the offense. First, off of the Junkrat still, so that one's still not getting that much playtime. So more of what we've seen so far. And more Annas, though Kiki Weather's still on that Mercy. I'm thinking Calyx is probably also going to swap soon after the spawn speed boost.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens here. I do think the Ashes of both teams have been playing very well. So I'm excited to see who wins the duel in this. Of course, with only 2 minutes remaining, it kind of old combos are typically what teams go to like play for as their win conditions with these sort of time banks, and some really good ones here for the attacking team.
Very good ones. Attacking team also going very aggressive, just kind of forcing their way through choke, but they lose Samuson. So that is so much healing that you lose out on. She also cannot get back because you are indeed once again not running that Mercy. The Kiki Weather gets taken out as well. Big Bomb, very few shots into a deflecting Genji. So now Connor can just roam into the backline trying to build this blade up as well. Is he going to make it out alive? It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, I mean, he is farming this blade at a record speed right now, though. So that's definitely a plus for him. He will have the first ult on the field. I would expect to see them just pull the trigger as soon as possible and not even bother waiting for Nano, because they can definitely catch them off guard before they have to come ult.
They might be playing it here, or they might be playing it safe, waiting out those bubbles. That's indeed at the end of the bubble, so now looking to get those kills. Finds one, looking for another, finds the Mercy. With that, though, the damage seems to have been done. Shattering Expectations with under a minute time bank, still getting this offense going. A second tick given up. The question is, will there be a recontest? With Big Bomb dropping, it doesn't seem like a recontest will even be possible.
Yeah, and they will be able to finish this point here. An extra 30 seconds will be added, and they will have a minute now to finish off this second point. A lot of ults available for the defense, though, including the Whole Hog. The Bob will be coming up here, and the Nano Blade is soon to follow, and no ults on the side of the attacker. So it's a pretty tall order for them to try to win this fight, but they kind of need to, or else it could be really bad.
I mean, very bad. Now the offense on the second point. Big Bomb
Big
gets
ante.
an opening pick. A huge ante indeed. But it doesn't look like the follow-up is possible. 30 seconds to go, so you're gonna have to get a very quick regroup here to try and get a chance to try and get the second point.
Huge eye field there from the Baptiste of, excuse me, of Rapid Disassembly there, able to completely negate the value of that anti-nade from Samson. And now the defense is in a really good spot here. They have the grab, or they have the grab, they have the Nano Blade, and they have the bomb, and this just looks almost impossible here for the offense to take this point.
It's gonna be a Sam Barrett to just try and get the offense going. Overtime is taken down. Nobody can make it to point, and that will be the defense holding on point B, but the win condition has been set.
Yeah, I mean, really, really good job from the defense there, cycling their ults well. You know, it is pretty easy to win fights when you have 4 ults and when, you know, half of them are win condition ults. But, you know, still not a bad push from the offense here, from the side of shattering expectations. And yet, like you mentioned, the win condition has been set. They will have a clear goal set here. This map is drawable. This map, all they need to do to win is just hold them on first point. But even if they don't, they can still go for a draw on second point. This is a best of 1, but I do believe if do we go to a second map if there is a draw?
Ready for
And this is a best of 1, so if it's a draw, there is no 1 point. So it does seem, from what we hear as well, that if there's a draw, we will be seeing a second map.
So that is something that we have to consider here. You know, if we go to a second map, which team does that favor and all that jazz that comes with that. We're actually going to see a Bastion strat come out on defense here. I guess that's not the worst strat here. We'll help whittle time out. You know, it can be kind of hard to push, and it's kind of a risky strat. The problem with the risk and the risk reward of running this Bastion, it's a lot of damage. It's a lot of potential win condition, right? Just having the Bastion shoot at people. However, what happens is if you lose this first point here, you will be at an extreme ult disadvantage when you have to switch off the comp. So a very risk reward strategy here, and I look forward to seeing how it pans out.
There's some classic double shield, and indeed, if the offense doesn't figure this out fast enough, Big Bomb trying to find a shot onto the support there from Shattering Expectations, doesn't manage to find that one early on, and this very bunkered up Bass is going to be able to chunk out so much damage. We have a trade, which always is so massive, and Caesar drops. The res will come through along with that immortality field that will be coming in. So the Bastion is up once again. Big Bomb still here in the backline, is able to keep on getting these pot shots. Rotation from Shattering Expectations to set up on point, keep this bunker going.
Yeah, Neptune fell really early there, and that has given a really big opportunity for the defense pushing here now that both those shields are gone, and now the picks will go in the way of Rapid Disassembly, and that's really, really big here. Able to break this Bastion comp very fast, and as I mentioned, that means they will have an extreme ult advantage if the defense decides to switch off this composition.
It doesn't look like at the moment they want to, because they do have that tank mode, so seeing some tank swaps coming in, but you have a Tyrant tank mode.
True, yes, but again, like I mentioned, they are down on the tank ults. They will not have this grab. They will not have the whole hog, and that can be very, very impactful. Maybe not a huge game changer, but still something to consider here. That tank mode, maybe not the best ultimate, but you know, no shields. It's possible he will have the chance to pop off here.
I mean, that is an opening, and you're getting this tank ult out so early. And you're also investing the amplification matrix. That's a big investment to take an early fight that much while you already got out the Mora.
Yeah, and we will see a swap here from Calyx onto the Auto, so that makes sense there. You know, you're planning to switch to a different comp, so it makes sense that you want to like use the ult that you have there. They will keep the Brig, and they will switch Caesar over to the Ashe that he's been looking very, very confident on. Connor will stay on the Junkrat, which honestly I think is fine. I don't think you need to switch off the Junkrat anyway, because he is pretty good on this second point of holding that top left area. Just that tight choke, and the Junkrat is a recipe for disaster for the offense here. So I do really like this comp that's come out from the defense now.
Coming up to 6 ultimates, the Tire is coming in as well, and that's going to be denying that Nano Blade. However, 3 picks in favor of the offense. Big Bomb as well, looking for those picks in the backline. With everyone down, that is the 1 tick needed. A rapid, unscheduled disassembly. A second point on the board in these group stages. No draw today. And that was a very, very solid offense there.
Yeah, even though he wasn't in the kill feed at all, Glemdal there is the one with the hero play, able to ante several people while they are low, and it leads to just a bunch of picks there for his team. Able to take the win here, and that will put them up to 2-0 in these group stages. A very good performance from them so far, and I look forward to seeing how they go forward in this tournament.
Absolutely. And with that, indeed, the group stages are done. This doesn't mean that we're done for today, but we aren't done for this stream, though make sure to tune in later for the actual Pluto Cup EU playoffs. Let me actually grab the schedule. That should be at 6:15 CEST. So make sure you grab a good break, grab some dinner in time, or use it as your dinner entertainment the next stream. But definitely make sure to tune in for the playoffs for the Pluto Cup. And that is going to be all for us right now for the group stages. Misfit, is there anything that you still wish to mention?
None at all. I really enjoyed watching these games today, and I look forward to seeing how all these teams shape up in the playoffs of the Pluto Cup. Like you mentioned, everyone should tune back in because it's sure to be a good one, and I look forward to see who comes out on top.
Absolutely, me as well. So that just leaves us with a few thank yous to go through as I want to do. Naturally, thank you to my co-caster Misfit to allow for both of us to provide the commentary that we could today. We also had Zathon on the buttons as our producer. We had Juan on the observing, and you could see the nice camera work that we got to enjoy. We also had Demon's Druid right at the ready, honestly playing a bit of production session today, but right at the ready to be a backup producer. So the moderators, I'm pretty sure I heard a Cyper and a Marsh Girl for today, making sure that chat is always as friendly as they can make it. So thank you so much for everyone to keep all these productions running. With that, we're going to be closing it off. I will always end up with the wise words of Brian W. Foster. Don't forget to love each other. Have a very wonderful day. We hope to see you later, and we'll see you then. Bye bye.